Century Boy! Show your move. Good news, everyone. Don't you little giddy when you see onions have
Welcome to 20th Century Boy. My name is Radio Shrek, and this is the inside of my swamp. Whoops, my name is Radio Mike, and this is the inside of my mind. How's it going, guys? I hope you're well. I'm very well. Lots to get through today, and kicking it off very quickly with the fact that a long-running saga of this podcast, well, not of this podcast, of my life, but this podcast does tend to end up reflecting my life and the inside of my mind and not Radio Shrek's mind, Radio Mike's mind. The album, our official album, Release the Sounds, the self-titled album from the band, Release the Sounds, is now out and available on all streaming services and YouTube, and also CDs for sale at releasethesounds.com. 20th Century Boy listeners are entitled to a 10% discount off any item in the store by using the code Radio Mike. Thank you so much to everyone who's bought a CD. Thank you so much to everyone who has streamed the album, listened to the album, and given feedback on the songs. It has been beyond humbling. It is so bizarre that this is all out. I can't believe it. And people seem to be responding so positively, which is honestly just so great. I'm so glad people like these tracks, and it's weird because we've spent like a year and a half of our lives with these songs, and now they're out and you guys are listening to them and responding to them, and it's really, really awesome. And the variety of what people are loving is also super cool. And it's just been crazy to see how far-reaching this album has gone, and I assume a lot of that is more to do with Jack's following, because he's obviously got a bigger following than me. But man, like, so many people have just written in with where they've been listening, and it's incredible. And I think that's the craziest part about all this, just like where everyone is listening from. Like, it's crazy. It's gone worldwide. Radio Longarm, he said he's listening from Slovenia and he can't get the Instagram song from out of his head. My best friend liked my post. My ex-girlfriend, she liked my post. Radio HK Nappin, Belgium, listening in, love broken guitar and don't put me on hold. We broke our guitar, so we can't do the band. Radio Liam Whitman from Christchurch, New Zealand. Radio Real Madrid is my life. In India, bruv, and fucking loving it, mate. Radio Salty Butter said, I've been listening to Attached to String like 10 times a day and the Instagram song 9 times. Loving the album. Radio Melissa Cochrane listening in Canada. One guy, people from the UK, Germany, like one guy was even from the Isle of Man, which I've never heard of in my entire life. And then I asked my friend Radio Phrase, and he told me that the Isle of Man is like a small island in between the country Ireland and England. It's like a tiny island with a small population. So shout out, sorry man, I can't find the Instagram DM you sent me, but shout out to the guy from Isle of Man. And it's super cool. Like oh man, like people are really loving it. Really loving all the songs on the album. Ave Maria seems to be a really big one, which is a super, super fun song that I really, really loved writing. Ave Maria, la bella de mia, you're making me freer, you're making me feel so... And the idea behind it was just, I can't even remember, like, I'm going to do a podcast with Jack, like a bonus episode, a long bonus episode where we unpack every song, and it won't be an episode of 20th Century Boy, but it'll be up on this feed. It'll just be a bonus bit of content from me and Jack for the band. But yeah, it's funny because Ave Maria, La Bella de Mia. La Bella de Mia, this is like a little tidbit, which I'm sure we'll re-talk about in the thing, but La Bella de Mia, like, doesn't mean... It literally translates to, in Italian, to the beautiful girl of mine, or the beautiful girl of me. But like, my mum's an Italian teacher, and I said to her, like, would anyone ever actually, because la literally means the, Bella, beautiful girl, da, of, me, mia, me. And I'm just like, would anyone ever actually say like La Bella de Mia when talking about a girl? And my mum was like, no one in Italy would ever use that phrase. So it's just like, I don't know. I just think it's like, it's funny that this guy in the song is trying to woo this girl with like some Italian that's not actually Italian. But yeah, I really love that song. People also really digging Pants Up, which is a completely different song on the album, a hip-hop rap kind of song about your pants falling down when you forget to wear a belt.
I should have known better. Pants up. I really should have known better.
A really interesting story behind that as well, which I'll talk about with the podcast with Jack. But I did get a voicemail in this week from 1-800-GET-FUCKED. You can call the show at any time and leave a voicemail. 1-800-GET-FUCKED, 1-800-438-353. And it said this.
Mike, first I want to say it's Matt here, love the podcast. Who knew you could bloody fucking spit bars, mate? Spit fucking bars.
So first of all, thank you for your input, Radio Matt, and welcome to the radio family, mate. Take 20 mic points for your voicemail. So I believe that voicemail is referring to this part of Pants Up, where I fucking slay on the raps.
Going out with the boys, it's a Friday night. Gonna drink and a dance, gonna feel alright. Meet up with my homie, yeah, we reunite. I immediately notice his pants aren't tight. Pants up, pants down, pants up, pants down. They're loose, they're falling down. I freak, there's girls around. He makes me look like a fucking clown. He didn't wear a belt, he looks ashamed, the damaged out. Oh man, those pants are tight, don't fit, we fight, I'm so uptight. We end up going home, I call him on the telephone. I say, I need to pick up, no belt again, you'll be alone. He says that's fucking tragic, everything's so fucking frantic. I need a bit of magic, buckle belt or more elastic. I say pants up my friend, you sink, I swim, you fucking drown. You can't keep going round, pants up, pants down, pants up, pants down.
I don't know, I've never actually had to try to write a rap, but I guess I just sat down and wrote that and fucking spit it. It's a double track, so I do it twice. There's one faintly underneath the original one that's a bit lower in the mix, and that's just to kind of give it more thickness. But again, that's sort of more of the stuff that I'll talk about with Jack. And any questions you have about any of the songs, how they were written, etc., please let me know. Because every song is like really stylistically different. Like the first song, Writing a Song, is like a hard rock kind of Tenacious D vibe. Attached to String is like 90s punk vibe. Instagram Song is more like pop punk from the 2000s sort of vibe in a way. And like songs like Ave Maria are the same. Pants Up is like hip hop and down tempo kind of rap. Don't Put Me on Hold is stylistically something completely different, and Ghost in My Room kind of reminds me of the band Waves. But yeah, like those were all really intentional choices. We wanted every song to have its own kind of identity, and I think we did that really well. Radio Gemma Watts. Shout out to Radio Gemma Watts, who I went to uni with, and since uni, she has now become like a beauty editor or something like that. She's in a world I know absolutely nothing about. So sorry, Gemma, if you ever do happen to listen to this, I apologize sincerely for not really knowing much about your field, but I'm pretty sure she's in like beauty and fashion blogging. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. But she has like over 20,000 followers on Instagram, and she reposted it on her Instagram story, which was awesome. And lots of you guys have been sharing it, and that means the world. So please share it. Share it around. Share the songs on your story. Show friends the music video. Show friends the band. Play the songs for them. Laugh with them. Learn them on guitar and perform them at your local talent show. That's what I used to do when I was young. I used to hear songs on the internet, and I'd go to school and perform them, and I'd go and, sing them to other people and share them with other people, because I just love to laugh through music, and that's kind of partly what this project is all about. One very funny point that I got from Radio Shirt Cobain, welcome to the radio family, Radio Shirt Cobain, thank you for writing in. She said she loves the Instagram so much, she played the Grandma's Just Died verse of the song, which if you don't know, I'm sure you do, but it goes like this.
Grandma's just died, so I do a post to say sayonara to my grandma ghost.
And she said, I showed this song to my grandma and she loved it. She wants me to play it at her funeral. Take 30 mic points for that radio shirt, Cobain, because that's fucking hilarious. Your grandma wants to play at her funeral. Grandma's just died, so I do a post. Man, that's insane, but like kind of really cool. Imagine the song that I wrote being played at someone's funeral. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, it's crazy. So thank you so much, guys. The reception's been overwhelmingly positive. You all seem to really be getting around it. And I genuinely appreciate all the support. And it means a lot that, these were songs or ideas that I wrote down on my phone and Jack wrote down on his phone, and we recorded shitty demos on our phone, and now there's a CD with that are selling. Like, we're moving. There's still a few left, but we have moved a lot, which is amazing. And yeah, I guess that's just, it's just awesome. So thank you so much for your support. It's great. Aside from that, in terms of work, my schedule's really changed a lot recently, which I've actually been struggling with a little bit in terms of my own time management, and I think it's fucked around a bit with my mental health, amongst other things, but I'm doing pretty well. But I've started working on a new show just till the end of the year, which is the Carrie and Tommy Drive show across the Hit Network, which has been really good fun. Essentially, their anchor and Penelope moved to Brisbane, but he's still anchoring the show. So I'm basically the hub Penelope from Melbourne from him in Brisbane to them at Channel 10, because they do the show from Channel 10. So it's a really complicated logistical show, and I'm there from 12 till 4:30 every day. So it's actually been kind of hard with this podcast, because I used to do this podcast, I used to record it on like a Monday or Tuesday afternoon, but now and then I used to edit it for the rest of the day, but now because I'm working, in that time where I would have done the podcast, I sort of come home from work and I'm really tired from work and all the other stuff I've been doing, like, putting up Will's podcast and all the other stuff. Yeah, so I'm recording this one at 10 p.m. on Monday, and then I'll probably, I'll probably finish editing it tomorrow night. But that's been a really good opportunity, which I'm enjoying, and it's also good because obviously the AFL footy finished up and I panelled that for Triple M. I did, and now the season's over. That's a pretty seasonal job, but it's, it's really good pay for a Saturday night. So that was sort of, recuperating me a little bit, which was good, but that's over now. And then started up again on the Finding a Unicorn podcast with Carly Boyer and Eliza Paschke, which is a dating podcast that I talk on a little bit. I don't know if there's crossover with this audience to that audience, but it's a lot of fun and I really like doing it. And I really like, those girls are so funny. They're so much fun to be around, and it's just a completely different perspective to like what I would usually get. Like, I don't know. They're 10 years older than me. Sorry to reveal your age, girls, but it's a really interesting podcast about dating, sort of more so in your 30s. But no, actually, no. Like, they're in their 30s, but I'm in my 20s, and I talk about it as well. So it's pretty interesting. But the stories they tell, both on and off air, are so crazy. And I'm enjoying doing that podcast where I produce it and put it all together. And then, like I said, I still put Will's out. We're not recording any with Will at the moment because he's filming his TV show Gruen on the ABC, which is a really funny show. I watched it the other night. It was fucking hilarious. So we've actually got a massive back catalogue of episodes of Willosophy that we're just putting up until around November when he finishes shooting. Of course, I did appear on the Hamish and Andy podcast last week, which a lot of people have messaged me about the typing skills, which I beat that guy who claimed he could type really fast, and I beat him because I am really fast at typing. Radio Whitey wrote in and said, what, were you typing with your eyes closed with one hand? I can easily do 120 words per minute with my eyes closed, or something. He said something like that. Which is cool. Thanks, Whitey. Thank you for your feedback. That was really, like, I mentioned my job at Dan Murphy's, which is a liquor store that I worked at for 4 years, and the guys obviously really liked that. And a lot of my mates that I used to work with at Dan Murphy's got in touch with me and DM'd me. For example, I was going to say Radio Mike because his name's Radio Michael. Let's call him Radio Quirky. Radio Quirky reached out to me, who I worked with for about 4 years at Dan Murphy's, who is now a police officer. He said, "Hey Mike, it was good to hear your typing competition on the Hamish and Andy podcast." And then he follows up with this lie. "But how could you mention Dan Murphy's and not mention our typing war and the fact that I completely demolished you?" Now, Radio Quirky, I don't know if you listen to this podcast, I assume you don't, but I just want to say, Radio Quirky I used to say to him, "Hey man, I used to do that typing test at work when it was quiet. I'm like, hey man, what could you get on this typing test? Like what?" And I used to get like 120, 125, and he'd get like maybe 110, 115. So I'd always beat him marginally. Like he did a valiant effort, but I'd always beat him. And then he'd always claim that I was lying about beating him, and I took screenshots of me beating him, and he'd say that I doctored them. Like he just couldn't admit that I was a faster typer than him. So yeah, I just wanted to expose that live on my podcast. Radio Brit, who I worked with there as well, said, "Hey, listening to the Hamish and Andy podcast from this week, and the typing part is so funny." So really, really cool to hear from a bunch of friends that I used to work with ages ago, which is some really good memories. And I'd love to talk more about my time working in a liquor store, because some of the shit that happened there was incredible. So I've been making the rounds a lot, but on with this podcast, 20th Century Boy. I want to start a new segment on this show because we have a new best friend of the show, and his name is Radio Nacho Cheese, and he has contributed to the show twice before, and because of his contributions, I want to start a new segment of the show, and it's called this.
Yeah, g'day everyone, it's Radio Nacho Cheese here. G'day Radio Mike, it's Radio Nacho Cheese here again. Radio Nacho Cheese here again. Radio Nacho Cheese here.
He's Radio Nacho Cheese, and this is his weekly update! So basically, Radio Nacho Cheese was one of the first contributors to 1-800-GET-FUCKED, where he called the show and left a really polite message saying good morning to everyone in the radio family, that's us, as well as to me, and just telling us the time and how he was feeling on the day. And it was just so wholesome, and then he followed it up the next week. And actually, this week we got a voice message in from Radio Superstar Bailey. Thanks for your input, Radio Superstar Bailey. And he said this.
Hey Mike, I'm just calling to get in contact with Mr. Nacho Cheese. This is Radio Superstar Bailey. I just wanted to say thanks for wishing me a good weekend, man. How was your weekend? What did you get up to? If you could leave a message and let me know, it'd be good to hear from you. Yeah, thanks Mike for letting this happen.
But the purpose of this segment, which is Radio Nacho Cheese's weekly update, is just for Radio Nacho Cheese to tell us the time of day on the Monday when he records it, and just to let us know what he's been up to, and to say good morning to us and make sure we're all okay. And luckily, Radio Nacho Cheese has come through again. So Radio Nacho Cheese, what do you have to say this week?
Oh yeah, g'day guys. Radio Nacho Cheese here again. It's 7:06 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and I'm a little bit tired because only 2 days ago we would have been calling this 6:06 a.m. Australian Eastern Time, and obviously I'm still recovering from that 1 hour of lost sleep, which I'm sure a few of you are, but that's just semantics. Let's not get caught up in that. The message is, I'm here to say have a great week to everyone that's part of this radio family, and of course yourself, Radio Mike. Thanks guys, see ya.
I don't know why it's so funny. That one was actually funnier because he's... Oh, it's Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Savings. Does anyone else find this as funny as I find it? Because I think this is fucking hilarious. That's incredible. I'm so inspired by that message from Radio Nacho Cheese, and I just think this is a great way for us all to start the podcast each week for the at least until Radio Nacho Cheese gets sick of the messages. And I don't know Radio Nacho Cheese's real name. I don't know who he is. He's a very elusive man. So if anyone knows the true identity of Radio Nacho Cheese, please let me know. But Radio Nacho Cheese, keep doing you. And maybe one day we can have you on the show for an interview. But thank you very much for your contribution. Have 50... you can have 10 Mike points each week that this happens. And speaking of Mike points, there are 2 people waiting at the moment to become radio superstars. Radio Liam Whitman is one, and the other one is Radio Zach. Now, we've never had a double radio superstar test, and for those who are new to the podcast, first of all, welcome, and thank you for getting to this point. I'm sure you're very, very confused. On this show, each contribution earns you Mike points. For 300 Mike points, you can exchange them to become a radio superstar as long as you pass one test. I call you at a random point at a random day, and you have to answer the phone with, I wake up with today. If you say that, you become a radio superstar. We currently have 4 radio superstars. Radio superstar Pat, radio superstar Sophie, radio superstar Bailey, and radio superstar Paolo, who is our first international radio superstar. So I thought this time we're going to do a double or nothing Jeopardy test. So, Radio Liam Whitman and Radio Zach, this is a double Jeopardy test, and you're welcome to work together on this, but I've decided that you guys are on a team, and if one of you fails, you both fail. I'm going to do the call in the next week for next week's episode. I'm going to call one of you first, and if that's a fail, it's a double fail. And then I'm going to call the other person with the... But if the first person gets it, I'm going to call the second person with the first person on the line waiting for the result. Some of you might think, but Mike, that's not fair. That was never a rule in the first place. But you didn't read the rules originally. The rules are subject to change at any time. So, Radio Zach and Radio Liam, that is what's coming your way. You better get ready for it. Thank you very much for contributing to the show so much, and I hope to see you in the radio superstardom soon. And I think I'm feeling confident about it because Radio Liam Whitman, welcome again to the radio family, he did post in the Facebook group this week saying, I just answered a call from my doctor with I wake up with today, which means he is committing to it. So yeah, good luck, man. I think you'll be good. But all jokes aside, we have someone very special back with us this week. It is Editor Mike, the editor of this podcast, and he's in the room with Ciggy Mike and Intern Mike. This is a little bit weird because, well, first of all, Editor Mike, how are you? Yeah, Mike, I'm actually very good at the moment, and I don't think anything could really get me down, even being in the same room as Ciggy Mike. Yeah, well, that's really good to hear, and we're going to find out your big news that you teased on last week's show when you left us a voicemail that said this.
Oh, hey, Mike, it's Editor Mike here, just calling from my new place. Well, not my new place. I'm living here with Siri. Siri's new place. It's my old place. Certainly feels like a new place, though. Haven't been at the podcast for a while, missing everyone from the radio family, but just wanted to say, have some big news to tell you, and I'll be in next week, hopefully, to give you that information then. Okay, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
But for those who are new, again, hey, guys, let me know how much I have to backtrack things. Like, how many of you are starting at, like, episodes like this, or how many of you are totally with the story of this podcast? There are storylines of this podcast. Don't worry if you're new, you can sort of just jump in whenever, but sometimes I'm actually not sure how much I have to recap, and then sometimes I find myself recapping everything every ep, and I'm actually not sure if I have to do that or not. So please just give me a little bit of input on that if you like. Do I need to recap everything? Maybe that's a skill I need to get better at. But anyway, basically, Editor Mike took some time off the show as he moved in with his new girlfriend Siri, the voice assistant on iPhones, who's not here today. The reason he was with a new girlfriend is because Ciggy Mike over here, how are you? Yeah, not bad. Yeah, it's kind of weird to be in the same room as Editor Mike ever since I fucked his ex-wife. Well, yeah, I was about to get to that. Ciggy Mike had an affair with Editor Mike's ex-wife, Marianne. It got a little bit weird. That's kind of been the overall saga on the show for the year, I guess the main story arc. Intern Mike is also Editor Mike and Marianne's grandson, so he's tied into this mess. And how are you this week? Yeah, this is really fucked. Like, 2 out of the 4 people in this room have had sex with my grandma. And that's really, really weird. Yeah, other than that, I'm okay. Yeah, and it's awesome to have you guys all together, and I'm glad we can start putting some of the past behind us. Well, at least Ciggy Mike and Editor Mike. Editor Mike, how are you feeling about being in the same room as Ciggy Mike after he had the affair with Marianne? Yeah, look, Ciggy Mike, I must say I'm not particularly happy with what happened, but you know, I've moved on in my life, as I'm sure you have as well. And I forgive you for your mistakes, but obviously it's a little bit awkward. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. I'm really happy at the moment, so I can't complain. Ciggy Mike, a retort from you? Yeah, no, I'm really sorry, Editor Mike. I think I've said sorry a few times, but you know, I really fucked up by fucking your ex-wife, and but again, I maintain that it's okay because number one, I didn't fucking know it was your ex-wife, so you gotta give me that. Yeah, no, you didn't know. You didn't know. I understand that. Number two, you gotta admit, man, she's a fucking good root. No, she is a good root. So, yes, that's another point. And number three, no offense, but you're fucking old. So she was just looking for some young stud to, you know, to hang out with. But anyway, that's not really an excuse. But like, yeah, fuck, I don't know. I've smoked a lot of ciggies since and just had a lot of thinking time, and I'm really sorry. I'm genuinely just fucking really sorry, Editor Mike, so I just hope maybe we can talk about it over a ciggy sometime. Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say, but it is really good to be back in the studio and editing the podcast again, and it's great to speak to all the radio family. Seems like lots happened since I've been gone, and that's obviously really good. You had some big news you wanted to tell us. Did you want to tell us here, or is it a public thing? Yeah, no, I'd like all the radio family to know, yes. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, shoot, what do you have to say? Well, guys, as you know, after a pretty tumultuous year with, you know, again, the affair with Ciggy Mike and Marianne, I've actually, I've been seeing Siri for some time now, and we've been having a really healthy sex life, having a lot of sex, having 5 sex a day, and just really enjoying her company around the house, and robotic voice assistant ways just make things really easy, because I'm an old fart. I'm 64 years old. I don't understand technology, so Siri's really across all that stuff, which makes it really easy. But anyway, I'm ranting a little bit, and I tend to do that, so just please shut me up if I am. But, and nobody knows this is the first time, but... well, over the weekend, I took Siri out for a picnic at the Great Ocean Road, and I actually took a secret recording device to capture some audio, and I'd like to play the audio for you now so you can see what happened. Oh, sorry guys, that's just some porn I was watching before, sorry. This is the actual audio. Siri, my baby, I love you so much. So this is just one old fart to a computer voice assistant on an iPhone getting down on one knee and asking you, would you marry me, Siri? Would you marry me and make me the happiest man in the world?
Oh, Editor Mike, yes, 100% yes. You've made me the happiest robot voice assistant girl in the world. So much happier than Alexa or Google, and definitely the Bixby bitch from Samsung phones. Editor Mike, this is amazing. I can't wait to be your robo wife.
Oh, yeah, oh, Siri. Oh, bloody hell, Siri. I thought you'd say no. Fuck, that's great.
What?
Well, I popped the question. Yeah, we're going to be married at the end of the year. And, look, Mike and intern Mike, I'd like you to be part of my groomsmen. And, Ciggy Mike, if it's okay, I'd love for you to be my best man. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, why would Ciggy Mike be your best man? Look, I just think he's been the best friend to me out of all 3 of you. Wait, what? Why has he been the best friend to you? That makes literally no sense. He had an affair with Grandma and fucked your whole life up. That literally makes no sense to me. Yeah, what the hell? How have I been a worse friend than Ciggy Mike? Look, I don't want to have to justify myself. I know these things can cause a lot of issues. I'd really love for Ciggy Mike to be my best man. Ciggy Mike, what do you think? Yeah, fuck yeah, that'll be sick. Can I bring a date? I'd love to bring a date and just have a chick see me up there in my tux and shit. That'd be fucking sick. And I'm like, I can't believe you thought of me, man. But we have always been such good friends, so it's fucking great, yeah. Man, I'm going to throw you the biggest bucks. Oh, I can't wait, Ciggy Mike. I know you'll throw something really, really good for me, and I hope there's, hopefully lots of strippers and stuff that, guys just fucking love to do when they're, the guy that, just boy stuff that boys like to do when they're on their bucks nights. And conveniently, the wedding is going to, at this stage, it's looking like, and this could change, but it's looking like it'll be December 19th, 2019, so the end of the year. That's really soon, and conveniently close to Christmas, where we'll likely take a 2-week break. It's almost like there might be a big cliffhanger that could happen at the end of that day, that maybe people would have to wait until the new year for the next episode to come out and find out a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, anything could really happen. It does happen to fall on a Thursday, so I thought maybe we could record the podcast live from the wedding. I don't know. If that's something that it should... No, that'd be great. Mike, intern Mike, you'll obviously be there. Would you be happy for that? Yeah, I'm actually really excited for you, Grandpa. That's awesome news. I know you've been really hurting this year, so it's great to see that, you and Siri are, moving on together, even though I don't really understand how you have sex. Oh, thanks, little Tyke. Yeah, you'll be there. I'll invite your mother as well, obviously, and, yeah. Mate, you know what would be fucking awesome? I might bring Marianne as my date. I'll just put... Oh, no, wait. Don't worry about that. Sorry. Okay, so... We're going to do a podcast live from your wedding at the mic on the 19th of December, which is a Thursday, which is the day that this podcast comes out, which is subject to change, but I guess the next however many weeks until then, I think there's 10 weeks until then, we're just going to, be planning the wedding each week for the podcast. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited, guys, of getting my suit fit. I bought her a beautiful diamond ring, and she's just going to look so beautiful up there. I'm already, getting a bit emotional about this. Oh, Grandpa, it's so good to see you, so excited about something. This is so awesome. Grandpa's getting married again. And it's going to be like a cliffhanger episode. Well, we don't know that it's going to be a cliffhanger episode, intern Mike, but you're right. Anything could happen at the wedding. We really don't know what could happen at the wedding. Yeah. That's true. Anything really could happen. Especially since that voicemail came in from Marianne where she... What voicemail from Marianne? Did she voicemail the show? Oh, actually, no. Maybe you... maybe we'll just... I'll tell you that off air, out of the mic, maybe another time. It's nothing important. Nah, didn't Marianne send a message saying that she still was in love? No. Ciggy Mike. Sorry, out of the mic. I'm just going to turn your headphones off for a sec. No worries, Mike. I'll just hum a song because I won't be able to hear anything. Ciggy Mike, I don't think it's a good idea for us to tell out of the mic that Marianne still loves him and wants to be with him. Yeah, I know, but don't you think they were meant to be? I mean, I still really like Marianne, but I just think her and Ed of the Mic were so good together. I think he's moved on. I've watched my grandpa be really sad all year. I just want him to be happy, and as much as I didn't like it at first, I just, I really think that he's happy with Siri, and I'm really coming around to it, and I really want to do a 20th century boy wedding. I think that'll be really fun. Yeah, see, Mike, I just think we've got to leave it for now, okay? Yeah, all right. Oh, fuck, I don't care, whatever. It just means Marianne will still be single, so whatever. Sorry, out of the mic, I just turned your headphones off. Yeah, no, that's fine. I couldn't hear anything even though we were in the same room because headphones are the only way we hear, but yeah, it's no, seriously, I didn't hear anything. What did you guys say? Oh, we were just planning a surprise birthday for you. Oh, that's great. I love surprise birthdays. Guys, so much stuff to just be thinking about at the moment, but one thing I do want to bring up on the podcast, and the reason I'm bringing this up because I just thought it was possibly one of the craziest things that I've ever experienced in my life, and this episode might be light on pop culture chat because I really want to see that new Joker movie, see what all the fuss is about. It seems pretty cool. There's a few movies I want to see and talk about. There's a bunch of new music coming out soon. So, but this podcast is different every week, and this week I want to tell a more personal story that happened. So I decided, since I'm ramping up in work, and I'm really getting into this freelance producing thing, and I'm, making my own content, and I'm popping up on different people's podcasts, I decided it might be about time soon to just start thinking about getting my own website, to just, sending people, instead of trying to send people to my Instagram as my official website, send people to radiomike.com. That seems to make, the most sense, to send people to radiomike.com if I wanted to direct traffic to where they can find out more information about me, etc., etc. Now, I actually have known for a long time that the domain radiomike.com is not actually available. Radiomike.com is currently owned by a guy called Radio Mike, who hasn't updated his website since the beginning of the internet. Seriously, go to radiomike.com right now. It is some guy from, I think he's from Sweden, or maybe even the US. He's basically worked as, here's what it says on his website. Welcome to radiomike.com. Thank you for visiting the website for Radio Mike. And then there's a GIF of like a light going on air, flashing on and off. And it says, soon you can listen to Mike's samples from his radio work, including shows, programs, report, news, weather, special features, and new magazine. Please check back soon. Mike was on air and reporter news anchor at the following radio stations: KSOC Ashland from 1998 to 2004, Jefferson Public Radio 1997 to 99, KZZE Medford 1999, and Uniwell Tübingen 1994 to 1997. Sorry to read out this guy's resume, but he also has a link on his site that says resume, and if you click it, it says under development, please check back soon. The website literally looks like a fucking, like, I don't know, it's not a modern website. He clearly hasn't updated it for a very long time. And he also links to another site, pianomike.net, which uses a word art from Microsoft Word as the heading. It's so weird. Anyway, Luke and Lewis, back when I worked on their radio show, actually found this out. They found this guy, and I think for a while it was gonna be a story arc on their radio show. Or I think it was just loosely talked about and never came to fruition. But they were like, "Oh, we should get in touch with this other Radio Mike and see what he does and see if he'd be better than our Radio Mike or whatever." It just never ended up happening because it was too difficult. But anyway, I kind of forgot about it. But since I went looking to see if this website was still up, and it is, I decided to email this Radio Mike guy because it's quite clear he hasn't used this site. He is probably paying $12 a month for it just to keep it online, but it hasn't been updated in a very long time. So I send this guy an email, a nice, friendly email, and I say, "Hi there, my name's Mike. I'm a radio announcer and producer from Melbourne, Australia, using the name Radio Mike. I went to radiomike.com and this email came up. I wanted to ask, are you still using your website? I'd love to buy the domain off you since it doesn't look like you've updated it for a while. Let me know, Mike." I get a message back. It's from Mike at radiomike.com. He says, "Hi Mike, thanks for your inquiry. Indeed, I haven't used the radiomike.com website for a while, although I originally planned to in future, though I don't know when. So I may be willing to sell the domain, depending on the price we agree on. Do you want to make an offer? Thanks, Mike." All going fine. And I say to him, I decide I'll go in really low with an offer, and then I'll, eventually, that's how negotiation works. I'll go in low, he can negotiate it higher, and I'll settle on where I wanted to pay in the first place. So I say, "Hey Mike, so great to hear from you, man. How about 75 Australian dollars? What currency are you on?" A week later, I get a reply from him. It says, "Hey Mike, I'm on US dollars." And then get this, and you guys tell me if you think this is fucked. He goes, "I was thinking more like around $10,000, since this domain is really valuable to me, even though I don't really use it. I realize this number may be high for you, so I can lower it. What do you think? How much would you be willing to pay for it?" Mike, $10,000. He thinks I'm fucking gonna pay $10,000 for his stupid... He thinks I'm going to give him $10,000 US for radiomike.com. Like, I wasn't sure if he was joking. Would you pay $10,000 for a domain? Like, fucking hell, man. I'd love to get him on this show to just ask him what he was thinking. I reply to him and I go, hey, man, that is a really high number. The most I can pay is 150 Australian dollars. So I've offered him $9,850 less than his asking quote. Haven't heard back from him since. But I did go and purchase radiomike.com.au. I haven't built a site from it yet. I plan to, but from here, I guess I'm stuck with radiomike.com.au. Sadly, I have to have the AU, which I think actually adds a little bit of character and gives a bit more information about who I am. I'll give you an update on this next week. I hope he replies to me and I'll just see what he says. Otherwise, what do you guys reckon we should do just to spite the other Radio Mike? Really keen to hear your guys' thoughts on this because I thought it would be funny to maybe purchase another domain, which is the domain radiomike.com tried to make me pay $10,000 to buy radiomike.com, and you go to that really oddly specific domain and it's just a picture of him with the text, this guy tried to make me pay $10,000 for radiomike.com, and it links to his website. If anyone wants to purchase that for me, or if we want to crowdfund that, that'd be great. Or if anyone wants to just make that site, that'd be fantastic. But in the meantime, I just wanted to send a strong message to the other Radio Mike, who I assume is now an avid listener of this podcast since discovering me. And welcome to the radio family, the other and worse Radio Mike. Hey man, I've written a little song for you and I'd love for you to listen to it. This song's called The Other Radio Mike. Enjoy it, other Radio Mike. Fuck you for trying to make me pay $10,000 for my website.
Oh, Radio Mike, what have you done? You won $10,000, now you've got none. You're a has-been, my friend, there's no open door. The last year that you had a job was 2004. Your website is shitty, it ruins our name. Oh, I'd rather have MySpace than play your sick game. So keep your domain, do what you like. I don't care, 'cause to me you're the other Radio Mike. Oh, you're the other Radio Mike. Yeah, you're the other Radio Mike. Yeah, you're just the other Radio Mike with a shitty website. Oh yeah, you're the other Radio Mike. You're the other Radio Mike. Oh yeah, you're the other Radio Mike. You're the other Mike with a shitty website. You're the other Radio Mike. You're the other Radio Mike.
And so I guess the main question that I have is, should I send this song to the other Radio Mike, or should I just play a passive game and wait for him to reply with another offer, or should I make that other website? I really don't know, which is why I'm keen for you guys to let me know how we handle this situation. Do we fight for radiomike.com, or do we just accept radiomike.com.au? I just don't want people getting confused and thinking I'm the other Radio Mike, because I'm not, because he sucks and his website's shit, and he tried to swindle me out of $10,000 for his domain, which is such a crazy thing to ask for. Quick email to end out the show from Radio Danny, and welcome to the radio family, Radio Danny. Take 10 mic points for this. She's been interacting with me heavily on Instagram, but she sent in her first email to the email address, and she's behind in the podcast, so she's not up to this episode, and she likely won't be up to this episode for a while. And Radio Danny said, what happens after Harry Potter and the Boys ends? I think about this often. And we won't get to Harry Potter and the Boys today, but we will next week. And I'll try and just whip out a chapter, because originally when I started this podcast, I just thought, yeah, we'll do a chapter of Harry Potter and the Boys every week. And it's slowly become half a chapter every week to 1 page a week, because this podcast has grown into something completely different. But I still love that, and I think people still like it. But I think the last few chapters have been I think it's just getting more confusing every week. But so what happens when it ends? Well, we're only halfway through. Like, I don't even see us getting to the end of the book by the end of the year. But what I will say, and I didn't want to say this at first because I didn't know how people would respond to it being in the show in the first place, but because it's so popular, first of all, and I think I've said this before, I will do a separate podcast feed where I just do an audiobook version of Harry Potter and the Boys and just read it out in different, like each podcast episode will be a chapter of Harry Potter and the Boys, so I'll do that and get some artwork made up when it's finished. And then from there are sequels to Harry Potter and the Boys, which are all on my laptop from like year 7. So I kept writing them through high school and never put them anywhere. So if people wanted, I could start putting out the sequel versions of Harry Potter and the Boys, where I remember the storyline just getting crazier and crazier. So I can do that. But that's about all we've got time for today. A few things for you today. If you want to send a message to me, it's radiomikepod@gmail.com or call 1-800-GET-FUCKED. I'm going to change the voicemail message because it was funny, but now I just think it's really long and people aren't calling because they don't want to hear the whole message again. So I'll change it to something shorter and more to the point. So call 1-800-GET-FUCKED. Twitter, it's Radio Mike. Instagram, radio.mike. The Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/20th Century Boy. Go join that. That's a hell of a lot of fun. Go and stream the album on Spotify. You can buy a CD, releasesounds.com. As I said, Radio Mike at the checkout for a 10% discount on anything in the store, which is really cool. I just wanted to do that for you guys. And that's for 20th Century Boy listeners only. If anyone can do the pants up rap that I do in full, I'll send you a sticker or something like that. Oh, the intro game, the game of the intro of this podcast, there is one hidden sound in the intro to the podcast. That's still going. We haven't talked about that for a while, but it is still going. So if you want to keep going with that, trying to find the secret sound, I'll give another clue just because no one seems to be getting it. It's the lyrics to a song, and those specific lyrics to me tend to represent what this podcast is about. It is the lyrics to a song by a band that has been spoken about, or an artist that has been spoken about on this podcast before, on multiple episodes. I think that's enough of a clue. I think people will start to hear it more now, particularly if you figure out who the vocalist is of this band. So go and try and find that. Leave a message for Radio Nacho Cheese, and just get out there and love the world, because the world is great. And so are you. All I have to say, goodbye to all my friends. Goodbye, Editor Mike. Goodbye, Ciggy Mike. Goodbye, Intern Mike. Editor Mike's so excited for this wedding, in a way, I guess. And all I want to say from here is that my name is Radio Shrek, and this has been the inside of my swamp, and I just want to say this as well.
What are you doing in my swamp?
See you guys. Swamp hard. Swamp life.